Okay. Good afternoon. Welcome to the special Convocation celebration. This ceremony will begin in a few minutes when the graduates enter the auditorium. Please remain seated while the graduates are entering. When all graduates have taken their places, there will be a brief pause. Then the music will continue and the officers and the faculty of the university will enter and take their place. Please rise and remain standing when the official party enters. I would also like to draw your attention to the 4 exits on the lower level and the two locations on the balcony level. If it becomes necessary to clear the auditorium during the ceremonies, the volunteers will assist you to these exits. As a reminder, face masks must be worn at all times inside the building. Graduating students may choose to remove their masks while crossing the stage. In the atrium following the ceremony, there are designated photo-taking areas where graduates and guests may remove masks briefly for a photo. We trust that you will enjoy this convocation ceremony. Thank you.
Mercier, Chancellor of Wilfrid Laurier University. I want to acknowledge that our proceedings take place on the traditional territory of the neutral Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee peoples. Today, this gathering place is still home to many First Nations, Métis, and Indigenous people from across Turtle Island. We are grateful to live and work here. Please stay standing for the playing of the national anthem. Sadly, we're not yet singing. Convocation is now in session. Please be seated. As Chancellor, it is my duty and distinct privilege to confer upon you the degrees and diplomas that you have earned during your time at Laurier. So, congratulations, Class of 2022, you have graduated. It is an amazing accomplishment given all that you've been through over the last 2 years. All of us at the university, your family, and those who love and care for you are extremely proud of your tenacity, resilience, and creativity. As we all tentatively raise our heads and look around to see what changes the pandemic has wrought, we might think not much, looking at the crowds in the airport and people outside on patios enjoying a meal. However, we all know that is superficial and that our attitude toward many things has altered, from the way work is done to dealing with the upward pressure on costs, which for years had been mostly under control. Together, I believe we will find ways to bring about a less volatile environment, but it won't happen overnight, and it will take work. As you know, we had an election in this province a few days ago, and regardless of whether you like the outcome or not, we are privileged in this country to be able to vote for whom we wish without fear. Few of us, however, would volunteer to take the place of our elected officials. It's hard to think of a time filled with as many vexing issues as right now. Climate change, the after effects of the pandemic, reconciliation healing, I could go on and on. However, the problem I worry most about is the fracturing of our society when we most need people pulling together. I admit to being a bit of a word nerd, as my kids would say. I still reach for my dictionary when I want to be sure to have the meaning of something right. A community, it says, is a society of people having common rights and privileges, a society of individuals of any kind. For community to work, it needs to be open and welcoming to individuals of any kind. This is true of businesses, volunteer groups, universities, government, in fact, any kind of productive enterprise. Teamwork and collaboration will be what save us. But the other thing that is needed is a common purpose for those individuals to rally behind. You would think that it shouldn't be much of a stretch to imagine that the improvement, the enhancement of the well-being of the community should be enough. But it sometimes seems that's not the case, and lately cracks have appeared. The kind of education you have received here is very much community-based. That is not only true of the university itself, but of the wider society of which we are a part. During the pandemic, I know that many here volunteered their time and energy to help others, and it speaks well of the culture of this place. When you leave here as alumni today, you will be a member of a large and growing community of people who have spent time here, learning what a university education can do to help you contribute your skills to a world that badly needs them. As only one example, we need to do whatever we can to bring more young people here to Canada, where they can live without fear. Whatever we are currently doing, we need to work harder, we need to do more. Imagine that a young person, especially a young girl, with no hope today, might sit someday where you are sitting and look forward to a bright future. So graduates, take your degree in hand and go out into the world to build strong communities. Find like-minded people to associate with. Make yourself, your family, and your university proud. Stay forever golden. Congratulations.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Deb McClatchy, and I'm President and Vice Chancellor of Wilfrid Laurier University. Before I begin today, I would like to let everyone know that today is Dean Michael Kelly's last convocation as Dean of the Laurier School of Business and Economics. Dr. Kelly's been Dean with us for 10 years and was honored at this morning's convocation. I just want to say a fond farewell to you, Michael, as you take off to do some scholarly work and other activities. And congratulations to you graduates, and my warmest welcome to everyone here who is celebrating with you today. It's my honor to celebrate you, our class of 2022. During a time of upheaval and uncertainty, you've demonstrated adaptability and perseverance, and today we get to recognize that hard work. I'm so very proud of your achievements and happy to see you, all of you here, as well as your supporters. When I look out into the crowd, what I see is hope. I recently came across an article in the Atlantic written by Harvard professor and author Arthur C. Brooks, reflecting on the concepts of optimism and hope. He writes, quote, "Optimism is the belief that things will turn out all right. Hope makes no such assumptions, but it's a conviction that one can act to make things better in some way," end quote. In other words, optimism is a nice sentiment, while hope does the heavy lifting. Hope is the spirit that pushes us to find solutions to the world's greatest challenges. And there's no shortage of distressing news in the world today. Every day we hear stories about the pandemic, climate change, extreme polarization in democracies, and war and geopolitical conflicts around the globe, to name a few. However, in my position at Laurier, I have the great privilege of watching our students, faculty, staff, and alumni work with the conviction of hope to address these challenges in order to build a better present and future. Over the last few years at Laurier, there have been so many examples of hope in action. I want to share just a few that have inspired me. In our economics department, many of our faculty went to extraordinary lengths to support students during the pandemic, including their interactive online courses. Across the department, our faculty and students lent their expertise and knowledge, contextualizing the unprecedented economic impacts of the pandemic for our communities, whether in the media or to government. More recently, I've seen our students across all faculties and programs come together to increase their support for fellow students impacted by war. Our student body has elected to double its support for the International Students Overcoming War, or ISO initiative, to provide more opportunities for students displaced by war to come study at Laurier. Laurier and our students have also supported 31 refugee students since 1991 through WUSC, the World University Service of Canada. Through student engagement and support for ISO and WUSC, we've welcomed students from Rwanda, Somalia, Sudan, Ethiopia, Congo, Syria, Myanmar, to name a few. Our community has been a springboard for hope and opportunities for students who have lost so much. These are just a few examples of hope in action and why I see so much promise in front of me. One of the reasons I've spent my career working in universities is because they are places of hope and possibility. People come here to build better futures for themselves, their families, and their communities. Laurier's graduates prove me right in this regard. My hope for you now is that you go out and lead your lives with leadership and purpose to make the world a better place. Take the hope you've created at Laurier into the world. The world needs you. It's an honor to celebrate the class of 2022, some of our strongest and most adaptable group of graduates. Congratulations once again on your achievements. Chancellor Mercier, I have the honor to present Carolyn Wilkins, the honorary degree recipient this afternoon. And I'll ask that Dr. Logan MacLeod, Chair of the Department of Economics, come to the podium to read the citation.
Dear Chancellor, President, guests, graduates, and families, my name is Logan MacLeod, Chair of the Department of Economics, not math, one department's enough. It's my pleasure to present you today Carolyn Wilkins as the recipient of an honorary degree from Wilfrid Laurier University. As we tried to make sense of the world during the onslaught of the pandemic in early 2020, most of us migrated online to communicate with family, work with our colleagues, learn from our professors, occasionally experiencing internet service disruptions, a muted microphone, maybe a scurrying pet in the background. But others worked tirelessly on the front lines, risking their health and safety. In addition, a few plodded away covertly around the clock to ensure Canada's financial system was sound to withstand the myriad of pressures in multiple sectors on multiple sectors, and that our economy had the necessary means to function properly. One of these individuals, whom we are honoring here today, was then Senior Deputy Governor of the Bank of Canada, is known as the chief architect of its defenses during the early days of the pandemic. She relied on an encrypted, espionage-like phone to communicate, for regular online platforms were not an option for the top echelon of government, presenting a potential national high security breach. Carolyn, who in June 2021 joined the Bank of England as an external member of its Financial Policy Committee, is our esteemed alumna, graduating with an Honours Bachelor of Arts in Economics, class of '87. In addition, Carolyn is also a senior research scholar at Princeton University's Griswold Center for Economic Policy, sits on the board of directors at Intact Financial Corporation, and is a mentor for the blockchain stream at the Rotman School of Management's Creative Destruction Lab. After having worked with the bank for 13 years, Carolyn made history in 2014 when she was appointed the Senior Deputy Governor for a term of 7 years, becoming the first woman to hold this high-profile position. In presiding over the bank's strategic planning and operations, and in sharing the critical duty of delivering a sound monetary policy, Carolyn was, in effect, directly responsible for the stability of our nation's economy. Playing a key role in the foundation of Canada's economic well-being has made her cognizant of the decisions enacted by the bank, from mortgage rates to inflation, and their impact on the lives of everyone across the nation, as well as overall confidence in the banking system. Successfully navigating a career throughout such vital organizations requires, among many other things, a seasoned ability to motivate others. Carolyn sees leadership as a skill learned along the way In her own words, every role that I've had at the bank has required a significant amount of leadership. In one way or another, my job was to get a team together and align ourselves on a common vision, and then work together to figure out what the best way was to achieve that objective. Through trials and tribulations, Carolyn is driven to inspire lives of leadership for a greater purpose. Carolyn is also proud of her Laurier roots and continues to give back. She sits on the Laurier School Dean's Advisory Council in Ottawa, offering comprehensive economic perspective and helping us expand our outreach in the nation's capital. She was the Laurier School's first economist in residence, returning to campus in 2014 to share her knowledge and experience with our students. Being a trailblazer for women in her field with exceptional achievement, Carolyn won the J. Alex Murray Laurier School Alumni Award in 2015, recognizing her outstanding career success and service to Laurier. And you need not look further than within your own wallets. A cursory glance at each of the recently minted, crisp, government banknotes exhibits an array of vivid details pertaining to Canada and its heritage, but a closer look reveals signatories who stand behind the integrity of these banknotes and what they represent. A guarantee that continues to firmly establish Canada as one of the leading nations in the world, and one of those signatories is Carolyn. So it was with great pleasure that we honor Carolyn today and deservedly bestow upon her an honorary degree and encourage her to keep up the tremendous momentum. Madam Chancellor, I'm instructed by the Senate of the University to request you admit to the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, Carolyn Wilkins. Thank you.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor, I admit you to the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Dr. Wilkins will now sign the registry of the university, which is housed in our archives and has the signature of every honorary degree recipient of the university, and following which she will address convocation.
Well, I think I have to start by thanking Madam Chancellor for the honor that's being conferred on me today. It's an amazing moment. I hold academic institutions in the highest esteem, and so it means a lot to me, especially since this is my alma mater. The other thing I'd like to do is congratulate all you for an awesome achievement. It's just fantastic. And to the parents who are here, I know you must be feeling really proud. You have to be, because I know from firsthand that economics at Laurier is not a walk in the park. So it's interesting, the service here today takes me back to 1987, which isn't 100 years ago, but it feels a little bit like that. And that's when I graduated from Laurier. And it was a great year, actually. Many things happened that were positive. The first Simpsons cartoon was shown on the Tracy Ullman show. There was a major trade agreement between Canada and the US that was struck. And that moment where President Reagan and the Soviet leader Gorbachev, they held a summit, they took a walk. just to see how they might work together to get past the Cold War. And I remember at that time feeling really grateful to the profs here who were so amazing. They taught me, which wasn't always easy. They spent hours, countless hours in office hours teaching me about the wonders of ISLMBP and ordinary least squares and all those things. And they even gave me a job. One of the jobs I had for one of the profs was entering census data from microfiche. And let me tell you, I was so glad for higher education at that point. But I think the biggest gift that I got here was that the profs, and this was a gift to me, it's personal, but they encouraged me to pursue a master's degree. And the reason they did that is they knew I loved economics, that I want to practice economics, and that this master's and maybe a doctorate would give me options when it came time to find a job. And so I took their advice and I packed up all my belongings and headed down the road just to Western University. And everything I owned was packed into that car. It was jammed in my dad's like four-door sedan, and I remember we were listening to his favorite big band music, and just for the young people at the time, it was on the cassette player in the car. And that year there was really hard, but Laurier and the training that we did here really prepared me well for it. And it's a decision that I have never, ever regretted. Now, there was no way back then in 1987 to know that The Simpsons would run virtually forever, or that this Canada-US Free Trade Agreement would morph into NAFTA and then CUSMA, or that the Berlin Wall would come down just a couple of years after that. And I never would have imagined myself that I would be Senior Deputy Governor of the Bank of Canada, this kid from Selwyn, Ontario, let alone work for Princeton University or the Bank of England. What I was sure of, though, was that economics would provide me with a disciplined way to understand the world and to try to make it a better place. Now, we have so many economic advantages here in Canada. We've got abundant natural resources, we've got a growing tech sector, we have a globally focused economy, and we have a very highly talented, and as I can see here today, growing workforce. It's fantastic. But it's really easy to lose sight of this as we've grappled with the pandemic. It's led to so many deaths, it's damaged people's health. It's been hard for students like you. And advanced economies, including Canada, well, they may have largely recovered the job losses that they suffered at the onset of the pandemic, but no one feels like we're out of the woods yet. And that's because, well, a couple of things. Well, central banks are working to bring high inflation back down. We've got Russia's illegal aggression on the Ukraine, which is a real threat to the global economy, but it's a threat to more than just that. We all know that. And we've got longer-term forces like climate change that only just add to these challenges. And you might be sitting there and this is a real bummer. I mean, what does this have to do with me? This is my big day. Well, it is about you. It's about you mobilizing your incredible energy and the skills that you've learned to make a meaningful contribution wherever you land. I don't know whether it's going to be a financial institution, back to school, maybe a central bank. I know a couple of that are hiring. So when I was looking for my first job, I knew that I wanted to earn a good living. And my co-op experience at Laurier and the TA work that I did at Western really helped me to get my first job. But I learned over time that the real gift of work is really the sense of purpose and a meaning that it gives you. I'm never going to forget what my son said to me one day, just kind of out of the blue. He said, you know, Mama, you go to work almost every day happy. That makes you really lucky. I thought, yeah. We were in the wake of the global financial crisis. I was working on international financial reforms in Basel, like Basel III, the banking regulation stuff, over-the-counter derivatives. These are great subjects to bring up at cocktail parties. Everybody loves it. But when people ask me how I got from entering census data from microfiche to where I am today, I usually just shake my head and go, well, a little hard work and a lot of good fortune. But there's nevertheless a few lessons that I learned along the way, and I think I wish I had learned them earlier. So I'm going to share them, and now that I've been called doctor, I think I heard that, I'm going to put them in the form of a prescription. The first one is reinvent yourself every once in a while. The main purpose of a degree in economics, and I think probably a degree in anything, is to learn the joy of learning and to not really care if you have to admit that you don't know something. We don't leave university knowing everything that we need to know, even for our first job, let alone what you might want to do 35 years later, like me. I mean, in 1987, I would never have predicted that I would be starting a research project this year on price discovery in crypto markets. Like, debit cards in 1987 were the hot thing. The second thing is use your voice. Use it. It's there to be used. But use it with conviction and with generosity. And this isn't a message to you about manners. It's a message about results. There was never a time that was clearer to me than when I was working with Madam Chancellor on a project to modernize Canada's payment system. And this project was with all the major financial institutions. And there wasn't one person on this project that wasn't tired or frustrated. And it would have been so easy to fire off that irritated email rather than just take a deep breath, count to 10, maybe 20. And, you know, the Chancellor and I knew that we needed to be constructive, to have meaningful influence, to build rather than burn bridges. That's what we set out to do when we used our voice, and that's what we achieved. And the third prescription is really, I think, the most important. It's to listen more than you speak, and especially if you don't like what you're hearing. And don't, again, mistake this with politeness. There's a Nietzsche quote that I've written in my journal that I look at every once in a while, so I'm just going to read it to you. I think it's really cool. It says, "The surest way to corrupt a youth is to instruct them to hold in higher esteem those who think alike than those who think differently." It's just so easy. But there's not one table around which I sit today that it isn't a critical need to listen carefully what other people have to say. And it's hardest when people are saying things that you quite frankly think are a bit nuts. But I can tell you, because I've done a lot of recruiting, it's pretty much top of the list, this ability to listen with an open mind and adjust your views. It's the top of the list as a skill for recruiters. I think economists have two hands for a reason. It means that you can use your training to consider all sides, to review the facts, to find common ground in what is, quite frankly, an increasingly polarized world. So I'm going to finish here. That's quite a lot already. But I want to give another heartfelt congratulations to you, all of you. It was said earlier, and I'm going to repeat it, the world needs you, and Laurier has prepared you well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Wilkins, for delivering this afternoon's convocation address, for your inspiring leadership and your service, and for making such meaningful remarks on this occasion today. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mary Wilson. I'm Vice Provost Teaching and Learning, and what an extraordinary afternoon. And what a joy it is to see so many of our deserving graduates here in person with us today. Each of you has worked so hard and had to overcome so much to be able to come here today and cross this stage and celebrate together. Truly, we are marking history this afternoon. This is the most tenacious and adaptive group of graduates that Laurier has ever seen. I also want us to take a moment to recognize your family members and your friends and your supporters. I know that they have played such an important role in supporting you throughout the entirety of your studies, and most certainly through all of the ups and downs that have met us during the course of this pandemic. So please join me in a round of applause to recognize our graduates and their guests together. Thank you very much. Now, will all of those here to receive degrees and diplomas please rise as you are able. I have the great pleasure of presenting those who have successfully completed the studies prescribed, fulfilled the conditions thereto appointed, and have been recommended for degrees and diplomas by the Senate of the University.
In accordance with the laws of the Province of Ontario, and by virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor, I admit you to the degrees and diplomas as shall be announced by the presenters. Graduates, the marshals will now instruct you row by row to begin making your way backstage.
As you probably already know, I'm Logan MacLeod, Chair of the Department of Economics in the Laurier School of Business and Economics, and I have the privilege of reading the names of our talented graduates today. This is an exciting day for all of us, and we take pride in the accomplishment of all graduates. We welcome applause and acknowledge your graduates and show how proud you are of them. Graduates are asked to remain in their seats until all fellow graduates have received their degrees and convocation is completed. Madam Chancellor, I'm pleased to present the following for the degree of Master of Arts from the Laurier School of Business and Economics. Tariq Al-Hussein Atta. Zhao Chen. Solange Tomeo Alver. Madam Chancellor, this ends the list of those presented for a master's degree from the Laurier School of Business and Economics. I'm pleased to present the following for the degree of Bachelor of Arts Honours Program from the Laurier School of Business and Economics. Joseph David Altabelli. Tara Anisic. Varsan Aranithan. Fars Abdallah Awad. Ishan Sanjay Bahi Bavarsa. Jeremy Dean Blundell. Nathan William Brewer. Eric Chechen. Sheng Feng Alexander Chang. Laue Chalky. Jishan Chen. Calvin Xinghen Chung. Cassandra Ann Chisholm. Mustafa Shu Li Lat. Ryan Jeffrey Davies. David Christopher Dean. Jiahao Ding. Shijie Ding. Sedzid Altabari. Alexander James Elliott. Shui Feng. Abraham Valeri Fernandez. Hannah Justina Ferris. Ryan Fukakashu. Sartaj Gahal. Connor Patrick Giozia. Mackenzie Patrick Graham. Danilo Grod. Earl Patrick Guanzon. Abil Rahane Habtakerigish. Fadi Haddad. Virginia Elizabeth Hansen. Ahmad Ayman Hassan. Edward Robert Hayfron. Yushen Hu. Siwan Hu. Recipient of the Alumni Gold Medal for the Lazarity School of Business and Economics, Sarah Courtney Hutton. Matthew Julian Wright James. Colin Murray Johnson. Safa Kalaji. Brent Lucas Alois Kodrick. Alexis Cassandra Coves. Brock Patrick Ladd. Pavel Lakic. Connie Lamb. Recipient of the Alumni Gold Medal for the Laurier School of Business and Economics, Lindsay Lee. Minjia Lee. Ruohan Lee. Sunko Lee. Tianu Lee. Zongshen Li. Lu Yang Liang. Dai Liang. Michael Kevin Luthan. Luke Liu. Graham Lachlan McLean. Megan Marie McGee. Gianfranco Murto. Ashley Kai Mo. Renee Isabel Modesto. William Charles Moffat. Matthew William Mondello. Kimberly Ariel Palma Gallardo. Matthew Nicholas Palucci. Victoria Rose Pampina. Shivani Patel. Gabrielle Plant. Dakota Lisette Pullen. Seeing Chin. Arshjeet Singh Ray. Sanjay Ram Ramanan. Niliyazan Ranaganathan. Caleb David Rees. Jaden Akil Robinson. Abby Christine Ross. Jacob Rush. Simranjot Singh Saib. Mohammed Sayanvala. Timothy Joseph Shabib. Paige Mackenzie Simpson. Jugad Singh. Jordan Suley. Adam Steklov. Alexander Paul Sturpey. John Alexander Stramenga. Jessica Anne Marie Sullivan. Victor Tam. Yifan Tang. Thanujan Tharmakulase Karam. Ethan Edward Thompson. Nathan Anthony Vitorino. Costa Vrains. Meiju Wang. Yuran Wang. Jake Alexander White. Jared Thomas Wilkie. Jacob Robert Wilner. Haotian Wu. William Christopher Wybrow. Bingzin Yang. Faisal Yuniz. Angel Yu. Zhu. Madam Chancellor, this ends the list of those presented for degrees from the Laurier School of Business and Economics. So as we wait for the last of the graduates to return to their seats, I'd like to take this opportunity to say, on behalf of the faculty and staff in the Department of Economics and the Laurier School, congratulations on your achievement. Graduating with your bachelor's or master's is a milestone in life's journey and is the result of the investment of your time, intellect, and effort. First, let me take a moment to speak to all the families who've joined us here today. Congratulations on your milestone. They're done. Please know we share in your great pride that you're feeling today as we celebrate their graduation with you. And also know that we are fortunate to have had the opportunity to teach and to learn from such talented, gifted, and a hardworking group of students. Thank you for entrusting them to us and allowing us to play a role in their life's journeys. Next, let me take a moment to speak to our graduates. It's been our pleasure being a part of this phase in your journey. We've seen you accomplish great things in your time here at Laurier, and we know this is only the beginning. I'll paraphrase Nelson Mandela when he said, "Please remember to celebrate the milestones as you prepare for the road ahead." Please stay in touch with your professors and advisors. We really do love hearing from you and hearing about your successes as you continue into the future. So congratulations on this great achievement and for reaching this milestone. We wish you the best of luck and look forward to hearing about the next stages of your life's journey. Madam Chancellor, I present to you the economics class of 2022.
Thank you so much to our orator and our hooder and the photographers, to all of our graduands who are now graduates, still and always Golden Hawks, and the newest members of the global community of Laurier alumni. Now is the moment in our ceremony when we can confer degrees in absentia. Madam Chancellor, on behalf of the Senate, I request you to confer degrees in absentia to eligible candidates who are not with us here today.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor, I confer degrees in absentia to the eligible candidates who were unable to be present today. I would now like to present the celebratory alumni welcome video made for the class of 2022 by the Wilfrid Laurier University Alumni Association.
Congratulations! You did it! You've crossed the stage, and now you can look back with pride and look to the future with excitement. Today isn't just about receiving your degree. It's also about celebrating the journey you took to get here. It's about remembering your first day on campus, your first Laurier friend, your first class. It's about thinking back on those late-night study sessions, your favorite profs, and all the memories you made here. It's about the times you faced new challenges and pushed through. It's about how much you grew and how much you learned. It wasn't always easy, but you did it. That's what a journey is. That's what Laurier is. Purple and gold. And while your journey is far from over, remember, no matter where you go or what the future brings, you are a Golden Hawk for life. You are alumni for life. You are Laurier for life. Stay connected, stay involved, and most of all,
stay golden.
Stay golden.
Stay golden.
Stay golden.
Stay golden.
Stay golden. Stay golden.
stay golden.
Thank you to the Alumni Association for providing that inspirational message. Following the ceremony, everyone is invited to continue the celebration in the atrium to take photographs in the designated areas. Pre-pandemic, it was my habit to go out into the atrium and jump into people's photographs, but they won't let me do that right now. So the fourth floor terrace is open, and I will wait up there. If anyone would like a photograph, please, you're welcome, please come. Now, if you would please rise. Convocation is dismissed. You will remain standing for the recessional. Thank you very much for coming.